Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Superman. We are finally getting a new Superman movie after Zack Snyder leaving the DC universe that he's been heading since 2013, with various quality. I really thought his Superman movie, Man of Steel, was terrific, but everything after that was disjointed and underdeveloped. And some are saying that's Warner Brothers' fault, and some are saying that's Zack Snyder's fault. I would say I'm somewhere in the middle. I do think that Warner Bros. Had too much involvement in his version of the DC characters. But at the same time, I didn't think his Snyder cut of the Justice League was a huge improvement over the theatrical Justice League. Don't get me wrong, it was better, but it wasn't this big masterpiece. To me, it was just a normal team-up movie. And as I said, that whole universe, that whole version of Snyder DC was just disjointed. So I'm really glad that we are getting a new Superman movie this July. Directed by James Gunn, he was mostly involved with Marvel actually, and directed all 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But it's not the first time he is involved with DC. He directed the Suicide Squad movie from 2021 for them previously. And it was a much better movie than the first Suicide Squad movie from 2016. The reason he could go from Marvel to DC like that was that he was fired from Marvel and DC snapped him up and he got to direct a Suicide Squad movie for them. And that's probably where he built some good relationships so that he could finish up his Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy and then start working with DC as an executive. He's basically now running DC Studios as an executive. So it's not just that he's the writer behind this movie and the director, he's also running the whole new DC universe. And he's starting off with a new interpretation of Superman, the most famous superhero of them all, except for maybe Batman. And it seems like it's a passion project for him. He seems to have respect and knowledge about the character, even though some would say he doesn't. There seems to be an animosity to some degree when it comes to his new Superman, because many do like the Man of Steel version of Superman and the dark, more gritty style. But I always thought that Zack Snyder made these characters too similar to each other. Superman kind of felt like Batman in how his character was written and presented, for that matter. All of these Snyder versions of these characters were kind of sad and really more dark just for the sake of being dark. And the fact that these are comic book characters was kind of forgotten. You can have a serious tone, but these are still comic book characters. You can't just skip that, because these are characters with powers like flying and being indestructible almost, and being superhuman and having super strength and living long and so on. You can do a serious tone with Batman because he has no powers. He is more kind of a grounded character from the beginning. He has no powers, he is just rich and he can fight. And he has just trained to be that skilled. He is trained to fight close combat. He's trained to be a detective, for example. Nothing about him comes from any superhuman quality, just peak human performance. Even though, depending on which version you are watching or reading, those elements are also exaggerated to an extent, because these are comic book characters. And from everything that I have seen from James Gunn's Superman, the trailer we got in December and the clip we got just a few weeks ago, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. It's a more light-hearted Superman movie, which was expected from James Gunn. And I don't mean that he can't do a serious movie, and I'm sure there will be serious scenes in this movie, and most of it will be serious, but he will definitely have a lighter tone in how he presents this character. It will most likely be a more comic book accurate Superman, a more back to the roots Superman. Just the inclusion of the dog Crypto is a sign that we will get a more comic book accurate Superman, and he's taken a character that usually wouldn't work in a movie, and I'm sure he will make it work. From what's been shown of Crypto, he will definitely work in the movie. But at the same time, the movie feels like he's doing something new with it. Sure, the classic looks of these characters, like Lex, like Lois, like the Man of Steel himself, they look classic. The suit has had some criticisms, but to me it really looks good in motion. It all depends on the context of how this suit was made in the story. Like, for example, if it was made by Martha Kent this time around, or he made it in some other way and it's not really made by Kryptonians, and it's just Kryptonian material but made by humans. It all depends on how they want to tell this story, so the suit can look in various ways. And I know James Gunn has got some fair share of criticisms, especially from those that were fans of Zack Snyder's version of the character. But I think James Gunn should be given a chance, at least with the first Superman movie, and let's see where it goes from there. I'm definitely very excited for a new interpretation of the character, and I want the universe to be more connected than it was with Snyder. I also think this cast looks great. It's less known than the previous cast, but I think they chose good actors for the roles they are playing. Especially David Corenswet, who's playing Superman, aka Clark Kent. He definitely looks like Superman. And so did Henry Cavill. They usually tend to cast actors that look like the character pretty well. They have done it pretty good every time they cast the character, even in the Smallville TV show. Also with the casting of Lex, with this time being played by Nicholas Hoult. And by Lex I mean Lex Luthor, of course. Nicholas Hoult is a very good young actor. He has shown that time after time. And he's not new to the comic book movie genre. He played Beast in the X-Men reboot, the latest reboot from Fox before Marvel took the property over. And he was most recently in the latest remake of Nosferatu. I think he will play Lex Luthor very well. He's just very talented. So I am very hopeful for James Gunn's Superman that's coming in July. I'm really excited for that. I think the movie will have a lot of heart because James Gunn is known for that. He's made movies like that before. He knows how to do it very well. And he will respect the character. It's one of the biggest comic book characters of all time, after all. So Superman, the movie, brings me a lot of hope. This was yet another non-horror video. I like doing these from time to time to do something different other than horror, because I do, believe it or not, watch other genres. If you liked this video, please like, share and subscribe. Also smash the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my future videos. This has been Boogeyman Cinema. Thank you for watching.